Hi, I'm Ryan Springer for CMB's Peer to Peer. It's been a little over a month now since we were gathered in Orlando at Momentum, having a fantastic time and learning from really great speakers who encouraged us to embrace the future that's ahead for radio. So many technology changes ahead for us, but to really embrace that and embrace the cultural changes that are going on as well. I don't know about you, but after a few days, a week, a month, it can be really difficult to remember all those things that we learned and really put them into place when we get back home. So I made a few notes of some of the things that really stood out for me, and I think to start it all off, it was Alan Mason who really highlighted that point that radio's disruption is inevitable, and that what we should really do is seek to find personalities that are interesting, and not just DJs. That's just so important. Those personalities that can really go deeper and connect with your audience. I recall something that Bill Hybel said at the Global Leadership Summit this year. Leaders need to develop the skills of talent observation. So finding and cultivating on-air personalities that are interesting and go deeper and really connect with your audience, again, so important. Chuck Finney had 8 key takeaways from the Finney Media Survey that was called Why Listen that they conducted this year. Really 8 fantastic takeaways. You can find those on his website, by the way. But I'm going to camp on number 6 for just a second. Favors you passionately but leaves you when you're yawn. This is what your listeners are telling you about your radio station, that they favor you passionately, but they leave you when you're boring, when you're uninteresting. And another thing is they leave you when you're negative or when they sense an angry tone. Why do people come to your radio station? It's for encouragement, it's for the positivity. And even those difficult things in life can be talked about through a positive filter. So that it doesn't have to come across as just sounding like negative or complaining. So just something to remember there. Jeremy Cowart was one of my personal favorites. His story of I can't do this, so inspiring. How often do you feel like there's something that you can't do, something that you're not qualified for, and yet look at Jeremy and his story of I can't, and yet he did. And so just that great reminder that we can turn our I can't to I can and I did. And I think about the scripture that I think was shared a couple of times at Momentum this year. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Such an important thing to remember. And finally, with all this talk of change and hello future, I think Christine Kane really summed it up and said it best when she said, the industry is changing. Don't freak out. You're not in the industry. You're in the kingdom of God. Great words to remember as you go forward and put some of these things that we learned from Momentum into practice. Thanks so much for watching this edition of Peer to Peer. I'm Ryan Springer.